My legitimate elder sister is a woman who has been reborn. She says that in her previous life, she shouldn't have opposed me or stolen my betrothal. She wronged me, her only illegitimate younger sister. She also says that since heaven has granted her a second chance at life, she absolutely won't let me repeat the same tragic fate. Meanwhile, me, just pondering what to have for breakfast. Thank you for tuning in to Chamber Tales of Survival. I am Echo Joe. Let me tell you this story of past lives and present chances. I'd barely opened my eyes and was contemplating what to have for breakfast when I heard a flurry of footsteps outside. And the next moment, my chamber door flew open. Elder sister Shen Rulan stood at the threshold in her thin nightgown, hair disheveled and feet bare, staring at me. Tear tracks crisscrossed her face, glistening in the morning light. Those almond-shaped eyes, usually held so proudly aloft, were now brimming with a panic and devastation I'd never witnessed before. Elder sister. I looked up at her, rising from my bed on somewhat numb knees. She flew towards me like an arrow loosed from its bow, pulling me into a fierce embrace. The force was almost frightening. My spine ached from the pressure. My breathing grew difficult. Her scalding tears splashed against the hollow of my neck as she repeated over and over, "I am sorry, Ji, I am sorry." Seeing her in such a state left me thoroughly bewildered. Only yesterday she'd been perfectly normal, hadn't she? I glanced at the maids and servants who'd followed her in. Beyond their alarmed, lowered heads, they looked equally confused. Did elder sister have a nightmare? I tried patting her back gently, the way mother used to comfort me as a child. She clutched me tighter, shaking her head desperately, her voice hoarse. It wasn't a dream. It was real. "Jia, you are alive. You are still alive. And well, I was wrong. Elder sister wronged you." That day, she held me and wept for a full hour. Not until my shoulder was thoroughly soaked through did she finally release me. Then she cupped my face in her hands, her expression terrifyingly earnest. "From this day forward, no one in this world may bully you, not even myself." I stared at her, feeling suddenly that this sister was both stranger and familiar all at once. For the rest of the day, whatever I did, elder sister followed close behind. She simply followed as if constantly verifying that I was truly alive and well before her eyes. I didn't know why elder sister had suddenly changed so drastically, but I was certain of one thing. It had everything to do with me. The next day, the commotion at Yilan courtyard set the entire Marquis of Dingbei's household abuzz. He stood there, gaping at the servants streaming in and out. In all my remembered years, my little western chamber had never been so lively. 4 burly women carried in 2 heavy rosewood chests, followed by elder sister's personal maids Chantao and Shachang, each bearing armfuls of account ledgers and jewelry boxes, opened them. Elder sister's voice suddenly sounded beside my ear, still carrying the rasp of prolonged weeping. At Chuntao's signal, the rosewood lids lifted. The luster of pearls and gems nearly blinded me. Gold hairpins inlaid with precious stones, jade bracelets, South Sea pearl necklaces. Some I'd never seen before. Others were pieces I'd only glimpsed elder sister wearing on festivals or important occasions. Now they all lay before me. Then came land deeds, banknotes, shop documents. Finally, she solemnly placed the ebony token engraved with Marquis of Dingbei's household in my palm. The token felt cold and heavy, its carved patterns pressing into my skin. These represent 15 years of my personal savings, 37,000 taels in total. Her finger pressed against the banknotes, knuckles white. +3 estates in the suburbs, and 2 silk shops in the East Market. All future profits go to you. I stepped back in shock. Elder sister, this violates propriety. Propriety. She laughed suddenly, bitterness threading through it. "Ah, Z, starting today, Elder sister establishes new proprieties for you. She stepped forward and grasped my hand. The token pressed between our palms. Every tale elder sister earns from now on will form your dowry. Trust me just this once. Just this once. Her hand trembled. Looking into her reddened eyes, I swallowed the question, why, and simply nodded. Very well, I trust elder sister. Only later did I learn that she'd knelt on the stone steps outside father's study that night, from the hour of the pig until the hour of the ox. The northern winter wind could flay skin from bone. She wore only a padded jacket, kneeling on snow that melted and refroze beneath her. Elder brother Shen came out to pull her up, but she refused, saying only, "If father won't agree to let our Ji also learn household management and martial arts, your daughter will kneel until dawn." The Marquis' household had a family rule. Only legitimate offspring could inherit household management rights. Illegitimate children beyond basic reading and writing were forbidden from all other pursuits. Violators would be sent to the family temple, never to emerge. This rule hadn't been established without reason. In great-grandfather's father's generation, household control had nearly fallen into illegitimate hands. That illegitimate son had apparently used cunning schemes that nearly cost grandfather's father his life in his prime. The rule was instituted thereafter. By my generation, the family had only 2 legitimate children, elder sister and elder brother, and myself, the sole illegitimate daughter. Father finally sighed. "Lana, what exactly are you trying to accomplish?" She kowtowed in the snow. "Your daughter wishes to preserve a path forward for the Marquis of Dingbei's household." Before elder sister's coming-of-age ceremony, Guju Xiao came calling. I tucked myself quietly behind a pillar in the corridor, watching his moon-white brocade robes pass through the moon gate towards the main hall, where elder sister waited. According to elder sister, in her previous life, it was precisely this refined appearance that had deceived her for a lifetime. I crept closer to the hall. Suddenly, voices drifted out. "Sister Lan, do you favor this South Sea coral hairpin? Young Master Gu is too kind. Such a precious item this humble girl dares not accept. Distant and cool, utterly unlike the elder sister of before." I remembered how in the past, whenever Jushao appeared, elder sister had always been gentle and gracious. Just as I was about to slip away quietly, father's laughter rang out from the courtyard entrance, along with elder brother's voice. Elder sister suddenly gathered her skirts and scurried out, her voice turning soft and sweet. "Father, elder brother, your daughter has been worrying herself sick over the coming-of-age ceremony." She linked arms with father, her face bright and charming in the sunlight. "After much consideration, your daughter realizes she is quite useless. Family matters should remain entirely in father and elder brother's hands. I understand nothing, I'll simply be obedient." As she finished speaking, her eyes seemed to glance carelessly towards Juju Shao. His hand, holding the hairpin, froze. I watched his smile gradually stiffen, his gaze becoming cold as a venomous snake as it settled on elder sister, then slowly shifted away, drifting in my direction. That look was like winter well water, icy cold washing over my entire body. That night, elder sister came to my chambers to personally teach me how to identify incense materials. This is Siamese agarwood crisp scent, with pine notes in the base. She held the incense beneath my nose. This is Persian rose essence. If adulterated with dogwood seeds during distillation, it smells cloying at first, but acrid upon closer inspection. I was concentrating hard on memorizing her instructions when she suddenly gripped my hand. "Ah, Ji. If and I mean if Guju Xiao offers you anything at all, you absolutely must not accept it. If circumstances force you to accept, you must inform me immediately. Do you understand?" Elder sister had told me that in the previous life, because of Ju Xiao, she, I, even our entire family, Not one had met a good end. I nodded, noticing the faint shadows beneath her eyes. Has elder sister not been sleeping well these past days? Seeing the exhaustion written on her face, I set down the incense and moved behind her, placing my hands on her head, gently massaging. Perhaps this small gesture might ease some of her suffering. Elder sister began. But instead of answering my question, she turned and grasped both my hands, her gaze resolute. In this life, I will protect you all. I must. I squeezed her hands tightly and nodded. Elder sister, I'll protect you too. Elder sister began teaching me household management in earnest. Every morning at the hour of the dragon, I arrived punctually at her courtyard. She spread out years of household accounts, explaining entry by entry. Look here, revenue from the northern horse farms comes in every year, at winter solstice. But last year it was half a month late, due to heavy snow blocking the roads. Such things must be noted in remarks. Otherwise, year-end audits will mistake it for bookkeeping errors. She taught with extreme seriousness. Sometimes when I miscalculated, she'd slap the table. This requires triple checking. In matters of silver, the slightest error means thousands of taels difference. Her urgency bordered on obsession. Once, after I'd stayed up several nights reviewing accounts, I felt faint upon rising. She immediately suspended lessons and personally prepared a red date and longan soup. As I sipped, she sat across from me and suddenly her eyes reddened. I am sorry. Elder sister shouldn't push you so hard, elder sister. I set down the spoon, speaking softly. It is not your fault. Is simply too dim-witted. Don't blame yourself. She suddenly began weeping. Time is running short. Elder sister is terrified that when people bully you in future, I won't be able to protect you. She spoke lightly, but I heard the crushing weight behind her words. Afternoon martial practice proved even more grueling. Elder brother initially went through the motions half-heartedly, so elder sister supervised personally. On the training grounds, cold wind bit through everything. She stood to one side wrapped in fox fur, watching me hold a horse stance with trembling legs, my lips bitten white. Her voice quavered. You must have strength so others won't dare bully you. I finally collapsed, palms scraping the ground and bleeding. She rushed over and pulled me into her arms, tears falling on my forehead. I am sorry. Elder sister shouldn't force you. But, you must become stronger. Leaning against her, I caught the faint scent of plum blossoms. Suddenly, I remembered how years ago, during Mother's illness, elder sister had secretly visited the Western Chamber, slipping me a packet of pine nut sweets and whispering, "Don't cry. Your mother will recover." She'd been 10 then. I was 7. Just as elder sister predicted, after Guju Xiao failed to win her favor, he turned his attention to me. He sent Siamese agarwood, Persian rose essence, and finally a box of ambergris. I hear second miss is skilled in blending ambergris. I've recently acquired some premium grade and came specifically to seek your expertise. As the brocade box opened revealing lustrous amber pieces, I leaned in to examine them more closely, but elder sister intercepted, snatching the box to inspect it herself. She sniffed delicately, then frowned. This scent is wrong. Guju Xiao's smile stiffened slightly. How can Sister Lan say so? This is tribute grade ambergris. Tribute grade ambergris has a crisp, lasting fragrance with subtle notes of sea salt in the base. Elder sister passed the incense to me. Smell this. Doesn't it have an excessive sweet floral note? I accepted it and inhaled carefully, my heart sinking. It was love's lure, a forbidden aphrodisiac from the previous dynasty. Prolonged exposure caused mental confusion. Guju Xiao attempted to argue, but elder sister had already raised her voice. Xuntao, fetch the wife of the metropolitan governor. That day ended with Gu Juxiao being firmly escorted from the Marquis household. That night, I found a note from eldest sister beneath my pillow. Tomorrow, deliver the drugged incense pellets to the palace. When passing the metropolitan governor's wife's carriage, accidentally dropped them. The handwriting was sharp, utterly unlike her usual elegant script. I did as instructed. 3 days later, the Duke of Anguo's household was exposed for smuggling forbidden substances. The entire court erupted in scandal. By lamplight that evening, elder sister gripped my hand. Ah, Ji, when dealing with villains, you must place your blade at their throat the instant they raise their hand. Her hands were cold, but her eyes burned like fire. The forbidden drug scandal appeared to settle, but I knew Gu Juxiao's vengeful nature would never let matters rest. True enough, within 10 days, rumors began circulating through the capital. First, storytellers in tea houses made veiled insinuations about the Marquis of Dingbei's legitimate daughter being jealous and cruel to her illegitimate sister. Then gossip emerged suggesting Shen was outwardly docile but inwardly calculating exploiting elder sister's guilt to advance myself, angling for advantageous connections. Rumors spread like rot in bone, not fatal, but thoroughly vexing. When elder sister heard, she merely smiled coldly. Rather than rushing to refute the claims, she took me, both of us magnificently dressed, to attend the chrysanthemum viewing banquet hosted by Princess Kangping. The banquet gathered noble ladies aplenty. Gu Juxiao was also among the male guests. Across the water pavilion, I could feel his occasional glances assessing cold elder sister seemed utterly oblivious. She simply drew me along, chatting and laughing with several wives and young ladies from upstanding families. Between the lines, she spoke only of sisterly devotion, casually mentioning that I was learning household management under her tutelage, praising my quick mind and aptitude for figures. RRG has such a quiet temperament, she adores fiddling with herbs and account books, not those empty competitions and posturing. Elder sister smiled as she tucked a new jade hairpin into my hair, her voice pitched perfectly for nearby ladies to overhear. She is my only sister. If I don't cherish her, who will? Father has said that her future marriage must be to someone who respects her, allows her autonomy in managing affairs. Betrothal gifts and dowries are secondary, mutual regard matters most. Cleverly phrased, it subtly mocked the rumors about social climbing, whilst elevating both the Marquis household standing and my own worth. I wasn't merchandise awaiting the highest bidder, but a potential mistress of an estate who required respect and authority. Several ladies, hearing this, regarded me with newfound gravity. Gu Juxiao approached with his wine cup, smile warmly refined as ever. Sister Lan and second miss have such a touching sisterly bond, truly enviable. I heard recently that the Metropolitan Governor's investigation touched upon your household. I confess I was quite alarmed, though fortunately it proved to be a misunderstanding. Elder sister turned, her face arranged in an impeccable smile, though her eyes held winter frost. Young Master Gu's concern is appreciated. The innocent are naturally vindicated, the guilty condemn themselves. Some misunderstandings, when traced to their roots, expose even deeper corruption lurking beneath. Don't you agree, young master? Their gazes locked, invisible blades clashing in the air between them. Gu Juxiao's smile never wavered, but his eyes darkened. Sister Lan speaks wisely. However, life is unpredictable. Winning the battle at hand doesn't guarantee ultimate victory. The Marquis of Dingbei's household stands tall and draws much attention. I hope you'll exercise appropriate caution. Many thanks for young master's reminder. Elder sister inclined her head gracefully, her manner elegant yet distant. The Marquis of Dingbei's household stands upon integrity and serves with loyalty. We fear neither wind nor frost. As for young master, I hear the Duke of Angwo has been industriously seeking a bride for you of late. I do hope you find your ideal match. She emphasized the words. Ideal match ever so slightly. Gu Juxiao's expression flickered imperceptibly. The Duke of Angwo wished to secure a princess for him to consolidate power, but the princess in question was notorious for her spoiled temperament, hardly a suitable wife. The matter remained under private discussion. Elder sister's public allusion was a deliberate slap in the face. Sister Lan need not trouble herself. Gu Juxiao's tone cooled several degrees. His gaze swept over me. Second miss seems to have grown thinner of late. Do take care of your health, perhaps. Keeping distance from certain disputes would bring greater peace. The words were thinly veiled threats. My heart clenched, but elder sister suddenly laughed light, bright, carrying girlish innocence, as if utterly deaf to his implications. Young master is too kind with his words. RRG has indeed been working hard, learning household management and martial arts under my guidance. But in these times, if a woman lacks inner strength, I fear peace remains elusive no matter where she hides. Don't you think, young master? Once again, she steered the conversation back to female self-reliance, perfectly echoing the earlier image of respecting capability, whilst blocking Juxiao's insinuation that I'd been dragged into controversy. The surrounding ladies nodded in agreement. Gu Juxiao studied elder sister deeply, his expression complex frustration, calculation, and beneath it all, an intensifying interest and determination born of repeated defeats. Finally, saying nothing more, he raised his cup in salute and departed. In the carriage home, elder sister gripped my hand continuously, her fingers ice cold. Ah, Ji, are you frightened? I shook my head. With elder sister here, I am not afraid. Today was merely the opening salvo. Elder sister gazed out the carriage window at the flowing streetscape, her voice low. I've ruined his reputation, cut off his path to controlling people through forbidden drugs. He will retaliate. Next, he may target father's political rivals, elder brother's assignments, or even our business holdings. But don't fear. Whatever move he makes, we'll counter it. He wants to see us panic. We'll live even better, even more brilliantly instead. She turned back, her eyes sharp with renewed determination. This contest isn't merely about schemes and plotting. It is about patience, capability, and who is willing to risk more. Gu Juxiao has the Duke of Angwo's household backing him. I, Shen Rulan, have the foreknowledge of rebirth and the resolve to sacrifice everything protecting my family. Ji together will drag him and all the demons behind him into broad daylight. I nodded firmly, gripping her hand tighter. Though her palm felt cool against mine, it filled me with absolute reassurance. Several days later, stewards from the 2 East Market silk shops hurried in to report. The Jiangnan silk merchant had suddenly raised prices, hinting he'd received orders from above to deliberately target the Marquis household's businesses. Almost simultaneously, elder brother faced difficulties with his Ministry of War assignment. An inconsequential document kept being rejected repeatedly. Elder sister remained calm. She had the stewards temporarily cease dealings with that merchant, activating an alternative supply line she'd established years earlier. She also personally penned several letters, dispatching them to officials friendly with father, but at odds with the Duke of Angwo's household. Within 5 days, the silk merchant voluntarily lowered his prices, begging to resume cooperation. The Ministry of War's obstruction also quietly vanished. Gu Juxiao was merely testing the waters. Elder sister remarked lightly, studying the account books. He habitually employs such underhanded tactics to apply pressure, hoping we'll panic or capitulate to him. Unfortunately, he underestimated the Shen family's century of accumulated resources, and even more that we'd prepared long ago. She took up her brush, adding a few more lines to her secret correspondence with the Prince of Yanbei. I knew the contest with Guju Xiao had long since expanded beyond the inner chambers and capital, extending into a far broader landscape, a more treacherous game. And my elder sister sat calmly at the center, coolly directing everything. In the 7th month, elder sister traveled north to inspect the horse farms. The night before departure, she came to my chambers, fastening a mutton-fat jade pendant around my waist. This was mother's, given to me. Wear it, it is as if elder sister accompanies you. The jade felt warm and smooth, carved with intertwining lotus patterns. How long will elder sister be away? A fortnight at minimum, perhaps a month. She smoothed my hair, then said quietly, "Ah, Zed, if elder sister one day chooses a path for you that is correct, but difficult to walk, would you resent me?" I shook my head. Whatever path elder sister chooses, I'll walk it, no matter how hard. Her eyes reddened. She embraced me tightly once, then turned and strode away swiftly. Night wind caught the corner of her cloak. That slender back seemed to be marching alone to face some primeval beast. Only later did I learn from elder brother that she hadn't gone to inspect horse farms at all. She'd gone to meet Prince Xiaoyi of Yanbei, trading 30% of the northern horse farm revenues for a promise. If I were willing, he would marry me with full honors as his principal consort. If I were unwilling, he would protect me for life. "Lana has gone mad," elder brother said, his tone complicated. Yet she knelt before father and said this was the Shen family's only path to survival. On the 10th day of elder sister's absence from the capital, the palace held a banquet. I hadn't wanted to attend, but father said imperial commands couldn't be refused. Midway through the feast, the clamor of the hall grew suffocating. I quietly slipped away, wandering into the plum grove of the imperial gardens. The winter plum blossoms hadn't yet reached full bloom branches, dotted with tiny buds. I stood beneath a white plum tree when footsteps sounded behind me. I turned to meet a pair of calm, penetrating eyes. Black python robes, jade crown binding his hair, features cold and austere as northern snow-capped peaks. It was Prince Xiaoyi of Yanbei. I'd glimpsed him from afar at New Year palace banquets. He always sat alone in a corner, utterly disconnected from the surrounding festivities. "Second, Miss Shen." He inclined his head. I curtsied. "Your Highness." Somehow, he held a sprig of white plum, buds half opened, petals still beaded with night dew. He extended the branch towards me, in perfect bloom. I froze, hesitantly accepting it. The instant our fingers touched, he said quietly, "You've grown much taller since childhood." I looked up in astonishment, but he'd already turned away, his black cloak cutting an arc through the darkness, leaving only one sentence: "Plum blossoms suit you well." That night I tossed and turned sleeplessly. Those 3 words since childhood were like a key unlocking some dusty door deep in my memory. At age 6, at the suburban villa, when mother lay gravely ill, a black-robed youth had come asking for water. I'd brought him a bowl of sweet osmanthus dumplings. He'd spoken little, but before leaving, he'd patted my head. "Take good care of your mother." That blurred face gradually merged with tonight's features in the plum grove. So it had been him all along in the 9th month. During the autumn hunt, urgent reports arrived of wrong Dai border incursions. At court, Guju Xiao volunteered as deputy commander. Father suddenly fell gravely ill. Elder brother remained attending at his bedside. Everything unfolded precisely as elder sister had predicted. The night before the decisive battle, I found myself drawn to the study. 3 silhouettes showed against the window paper. Elder sister's voice filtered through the gaps, calm yet trembling beneath. In my previous life, I was foolish and destroyed the entire family. I handed the military tally to Guju Xiao, and he immediately colluded with the Rongdi father and elder brother died in battle. The Shen family was condemned to execution. I barely escaped and went into hiding, but Ji was forced into an official brothel. To extract my whereabouts, Guju Xiao subjected her to every torture imaginable. I covered my mouth, nails digging into my palm. She died on a snowy night that year. Her last words were, "Elder sister, I don't blame you." When I was reborn and returned to that day, I swore I'd protect her, even if it cost my life. But I daren't tell her the truth. I fear she'll hate me, fear she'll remember her previous life's suffering. I'd rather she know nothing. Simply let me dote on her this entire lifetime, repaying everything I owe her. Though elder sister had mentioned her rebirth before, saying she'd come back to seek revenge, that in the previous life our entire family had suffered terribly because of her involvement with Guju Xiao. I'd never imagined my own death had been so degrading. Tears blurred my vision. Finally, those lingering questions had answers. Why elder sister's gaze always held such unfathomable guilt when she looked at me? Because I truly had died once. For her, the door opened, elder sister emerged, saw me crouched by the wall, and froze completely. Moonlight illuminated her pale face. Those usually resolute eyes now brimmed with panic. She. I wiped away my tears, forcing a smile. Elder sister, she doesn't blame you. Not in the previous life you speak of, nor in this life knowing the truth. I've never blamed you. You needn't feel guilty. Her tears broke like a dam. I stepped forward and embraced her, just as she'd held and comforted me through the night when Mother died and I fell ill with fever. Because you are my elder sister. The sister who secretly sent medicine when my mother lay dying, who stood up for me when servants bullied me, who lit a lamp for me through every lonely night. After that night's long conversation, I began dreaming. Though perhaps they weren't dreams, more like memory fragments from my previous life. A snowy night, the woodshed of an official brothel. I huddled in a pile of straw, whip wounds festering, body burning with fever. The door opened. A black-robed man entered, setting down a food box and medicine. "Eat," his voice was low. I watched him warily. "Shen Rulan sent me," he said. I froze, then shook my head frantically. "Impossible. Elder sister has already. She is dead, but her spirit hasn't dispersed." The man paused. "She says she is sorry." The food box contained warm congee and steamed buns. I clutched it and wept for a long time. He remained outside the door until I'd finished eating and applied the medicine, then said quietly, "I'll have someone look after you. Hold on. Wait for your sister to come for you." But I didn't last until that day. The final memory, in my dying moments, the woodshed door suddenly burst open. A pair of deep eyes filled with anguish rushed towards me. I woke with my pillows soaked through. So in the previous life, that person had been him, Prince Xiaoyi of Yanbei. Elder sister still snuck off to the northern territories. I knew she'd gone to join forces with Xiaoyi, preparing to trap Guju Xiao, completely in Camel Peak Valley. The day victory reports arrived, I lit 3 incense sticks in the Buddhist hall. The day elder sister returned triumphant, I stood at the gate waiting. She dismounted in blood-stained armor, face still smudged with soot. Seeing me, she hesitated, instinctively trying to retreat. I am filthy. I threw myself into her arms, ignoring the blood and grime, ignoring others' stares. Her armor felt ice-cold and sharp, but I held on tightly. "Elder sister, welcome home." That night, I brought hot water to her chambers. "Elder sister, let me help you remove your armor." She froze, eyes gradually reddening. I moved behind her, unfastening the armor straps. The heavy iron plates came off piece by piece, revealing the sweat-soaked inner garments beneath, and across her back, a crosshatch of fresh wounds and old scars. Me hands trembled. Turn around. My voice came out hoarse, unrecognizable. She turned. I wrung out a hot cloth and carefully wiped away the blood and grime from her face and neck, movements clumsy but performed with the solemnity of ritual. Elder sister protected me for 2 lifetimes. For the rest of this life, let me protect you. Her tears splashed into the copper basin, rippling outward in circles. I don't need your protection. I only want your happiness. My happiness is elder sister's happiness. I cupped her face, pressing our foreheads together. Together, let's both live well. She nodded emphatically, sobbing. On the 9th day of the 1st month, betrothal gifts from Prince Yanbei's household entered the Marquis of Dingbei's gates. 6 palanquins draped in red silk, drawing crowds throughout the capital. When I was summoned to the main hall, Xiao Yi stood in formal princely robes, the black fabric making his features appear even more austere. Seeing me, his first words were, "Second Miss Shen, if you are unwilling, this prince will return to the northern territories immediately and never trouble you again." I stood stunned. Elder sister stood behind father, giving me a gentle nod. I took a deep breath. "Your Highness, this humble girl has 3 questions. Please ask. First, after marrying into the prince's household, may I continue studying incense making and managing business affairs? Yes, Prince Yanbei's household doesn't confine women to the inner chambers. Second, should war break out in the northern territories, may I accompany the army not to cause trouble, but to assist with logistics and treat the wounded?" A glimmer of light passed through his eyes. I would welcome nothing more. Third, I looked at him, voice soft. 6 years ago at the suburban villa was the black-robed youth who asked for water. You? Xiao Yi, visibly startled. After a long moment, he nodded slowly. Yes, that bowl of sweet osmanthus dumplings. Was it sweet? Very sweet. The faintest smile touched his eyes, ice and snow beginning to thaw, sweet enough to last me many years. My eyes suddenly stung with tears. So those scattered threads of fate had never truly broken. A bowl of dumplings, a sprig of plum blossom, medicine on a snowy night. And in this life, the way he looked at me, not as the Marquis of Dingbei's illegitimate daughter, not as Shen Rulan's younger sister, but as Shenji herself. I turned and bowed formally to father, elder brother, and elder sister in turn, finally stopping before my sister and grasping her cold hand. Elder sister, this time I chose for myself. She smiled through her tears, gripping my hand back tightly, so tightly. Good. I turned back and performed the grand ceremony before Xiao Yi. This subject, Shenji, is willing to stand alongside your Highness, guarding the northern territories and protecting the Shen family. No regrets in this life. The night before the wedding, elder sister came to my chambers, combing my hair as she had on so many previous nights. The horn comb glided through my hair, her movements gentle. "Ah, Zed, elder sister has something for you." She placed the Marquis of Dingbei's ebony token in my palm once more. This time, beside it lay a small personal seal, carved with the 3 characters, Shen Rulan. The Shen family will have 2 mistresses from now on, one south, one north, supporting each other. Her eyes were red, but her smile radiant. "Keep this seal safe. All properties under elder sister's name you may access freely. Ah, Ji, elder sister entrusts half the household to you. You must guard it well for me." I gripped the token and seal, feeling their weight, trust, and responsibility. Elder sister must also find happiness. I embraced her. Find someone who truly cherishes you. Be safe and joyful. Live a long, long life. She said nothing, only held me tighter. The day the bridal sedan left the city, spring breezes stirred. I lifted the curtain to look back. Atop the city wall, elder sister stood in crimson robes billowing in the wind, waving vigorously. Sunlight bathed her, that smile, bright as peach blossoms in spring, melting all the frost and snow of past lives into shimmering spring light. The sedan swayed northward. I looked down at the token in my palm, remembering Xiao Yi's words from last night. He'd asked, "Why did you ultimately choose me?" Only because of that childhood encounter. And also because, I said softly, in my previous life, on that snowy night, thank you for the medicine and food. He looked shaken. You remember? I remember. I met his gaze. So in this life, I want to live well together with you. He grasped my hand, his palm warm and steady. Spring came late to I established an incense studio in the prince's residence. My northern spring blend became frontier soldiers' favorite souvenir. Xiao Yi specifically authorized me to participate in military supply accounting. Using methods elder sister had taught me, I reduced grain wastage by 20%. Occasionally when conflicts arose, I accompanied the army north. The first time I stood in the military camp, countless gazes fell upon me curious, assessing, dismissive. Xiao Yi publicly handed me a command arrow. Henceforth the princess manages logistics coordination. This arrow carries my authority. Doubts gradually subsided after that night when the camp overflowed with wounded. I worked through the night with the physicians, personally suturing a young soldier's wounds. He trembled with pain. I hummed the lullaby Mother used to sing. Afterwards, gradually, people in camp began addressing me respectfully as princess, their eyes holding genuine respect. Elder sister wrote monthly, rambling about capital gossip, which young master had made a fool of himself. A new pastry shop had opened in the East Market. She'd learned a new Jiangnan recipe. Each letter ended with, "R, G, are you happy?" I always replied, "Very happy. Elder sister must be happy too." The following spring, I discovered I was with child. Xiao Yi grew so nervous he was practically useless, forbidding me from touching any incense materials, personally supervising the kitchen's daily tonic preparations. At night, when my legs cramped, he would silently rise to massage them, wordless but infinitely gentle. That night, moonlight streamed beautifully. Leaning against his shoulder, I suddenly asked, "Your Highness, if elder sister hadn't arranged our match, would you still have sought my hand?" He was silent briefly. "Yes. Why?" "Because you are worth it." He squeezed my hand. "From that bowl of sweet osmanthus dumplings at age 6, to later hearing you excelled at incense making, could manage households, would brave danger for your sister. Such a woman if I'd let you slip away. I'd have regretted it my entire life." I smiled, though. Tears slipped quietly down my cheeks. So being truly seen and cherished by someone felt this warm. Our daughter was born in deep autumn. We named her Xiao Nuan. Elder sister rushed from the capital, refusing to release the swaddled infant. Her eyes resemble RG. Her nose takes after you. She stayed in Yanbei a full month, keeping me company daily, teaching me childcare, how to recuperate properly. On the full moon celebration night, she drank too much, clutching my hand. RG, elder sister now, deserves to live. I embraced her. Elder sister always deserved it. RG has been fortunate to be your sister. Outside, maple leaves blazed crimson. Inside, candlelight glowed warm. We lay side by side on the daybed as in childhood. She spoke of many past events when my mother lay gravely ill. She'd secretly diverted medicine from her own allowance to send over. The first time I practiced calligraphy with crooked, awkward strokes, she'd praise my writing as beautiful. When other noble ladies mocked my illegitimate birth, she'd slapped one of them on the spot. Actually, elder sister always felt guilty, she said softly. I used to think legitimate daughters should stand above others. Illegitimate daughters should know their place. Only after losing everything in my previous life did I understand blood ties matter far more than empty titles. I gripped her hand tightly. It is all in the past. Yes, all in the past. She turned to look at me, tears at the corners of her eyes but smile on her lips. Things now, they're truly good. When Nuana turned 1, elder sister sent a long letter. She'd opened an embroidery workshop, she wrote, specifically taking in women with nowhere else to go, teaching them skills to earn their living. Enclosed was a handkerchief embroidered with twin lotus blossoms, stitching fine and exquisite. Elder sister is very happy now, she wrote at the end. Ah, Ji, thank you for forgiving me. Thank you for still being willing to be my sister. I carefully stored the handkerchief in my cosmetics case, alongside the mutton fat jade pendant. At dusk, Xiao Yi returned from the training grounds carrying Nuana. The little girl clutched a fistful of wildflowers, babbling as she lunged into my arms. I caught the child whilst he naturally tucked a loose strand of hair behind my ear. Letter from elder sister, he asked. I smiled, lifting Nuana high. She says next visit, she'll teach Nuana embroidery. Girls learning embroidery is good. He paused. Though if Nuana wants to learn riding and archery, that is good too. I leaned against his shoulder, watching sunset paint the courtyard warm gold. Suddenly, I remembered that final snowy night of my previous life. Those words, elder sister, I don't blame you. Looking back now, it wasn't merely forgiveness. It was faith. Faith that if another life came, we would certainly live better. Fortunately, we'd waited for it. Spring winds finally warmed the brocade tent. All past dust settles, revealing green mountains. This life, elder sister, we're both living well. Here is the cruelty and tenderness of it all. One person loves with everything she has, whilst the other believes herself unworthy of such love. Shen Rulan's fierce protectiveness masks a deeper fear that time is running out, that she'll lose again. Shen Ji's quiet compliance conceals its own stubborn loyalty. I won't ask why, because you are my sister. As for the others, Ju Xiao and Xiao Yi are mere catalysts in this bond. Gu Ju Xiao's venom inadvertently united the sisters against a common enemy. Xiao Yi's devotion happened to catch Shen Ji just as she learned to live for herself. At its heart, this is a story about two women navigating debt and forgiveness, protection and release, and in doing so, finally becoming themselves.